Hello everyone and welcome to episode 12 of the Airgun World Podcast, brought to you in association with Crackshot, the Southwest Premier Airgun Centre and Ranges. Okay, on the show today with me, we've got my ever-faithful co-presenter, Mr. Terry Doth, the godfather of airgunning in the UK himself. How are you doing, Terry?
Absolutely marvellous, mate. Rocking it, loving the retirement.
Not too hot in that man cave. It's been warm,
right.
isn't it?
I've been touring the garden and I've been watering my flowers, so I'm a bit, I'm nicely cool and moist.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear. Okay, so our special studio guest today is none other than Claire West from Air Arms. Claire, it's great to have you on the show. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. As you know, we've just come back from the National Shooting Show, so we're all suitably tired out, but happy to be here.
Brilliant stuff. Thanks for giving us your time. Right, okay, we've got loads to talk to you about tonight. I know Terry's got a whole list of questions he sent me that he wants to ask you. But before we kick things off, the question on everybody's lips, including mine, is the Indian connection. How the hell do you pronounce the name of that company?
Pressy Hole.
Right, so it's not Pressy Hole, like I've been saying since the British Shooting Show, which is actually a godsend because that sounds like something that you need to go to a clinic to have looked at. I actually think you should do a hyacinth bucket, and I think you should pronounce it Pressy Hole. That's more exotic. Anyway, enough of that. Terry, I'm going to pass it over to you, mate. Let's get this podcast heading in the right direction.
Right. Such is the interest in your company, Claire, that I get questions about it all the time. Okay, they know you and I go back a long, long way. They think I've got the inside on it, which I don't have. You're the number one and always will be. You made a recent announcement to the trade, which many of the viewers won't know about. Can you give us some idea what it will mean to existing and future Air Arms customers?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, we've made several announcements of recent time, particularly since the British Shooting Show. Kind of everything has sort of come at once, but I can assure you that the planning of all of what we're doing has taken years. And that starts with the rebrand, which was a hot topic of conversation back in February. That has led to the introduction of new product ranges. So we can expand the Air Arms family. And the third big announcement to the trade made last week was that Air Arms, after 30 years of outsourcing our UK distribution, we are bringing it in-house and we are doing it ourselves. And that is a huge move for Air Arms. And something that the team and I are really excited to do, because I think the opportunities that lends itself to are enormous. And basically, that's the whole reason for doing what we're doing, so that we can bring new and innovative products direct to the trade, which in turn can go to the consumers. Will have direct access as well. So, some big changes going on. And undoubtedly, with that, a lot of gossip and a lot of make believe, and So you ask me any questions you like, guys, and I will give you honest and open answers.
Excellent stuff. Is that what all the training courses were about the last 2 weeks?
No. The training course. Well, part of the training courses that the whole of our company have been going through are the investments that I've made into new processes, new systems, everything to do with integrating our manufacturing and direct sales to the trade. So we're automating everything to make life simple and easy, using the latest digital technologies that are available to us. The investment has been huge. But of course, you know me, Terry, I'm not going to do this if I don't do it properly.
You don't half do anything. I'm talking about the gossip and stuff. Let's get back to Pressy Hole for a minute. Your partnership has been in place since you announced it at the British Shooting Show. I've seen a couple of the products. That Minotaur bullpup, that is going to just smash it. That is an incredible little thing, really is. But there's been a few questions on social media that could do with clarification. So, first of all, is Pressy Hole going to be making Air Arms rifles or components for them?
No, let me just set the record straight. But first of all, let me really set the record straight by saying I am the sole owner of Air Arms, and I'm also the managing director. And so, no, we haven't been bought out by the Indians. The Indians will not be making our component parts for our current series, our current range of rifles. And that includes everything from the TX right up to the XTI. Manufacturing of those items will always remain in-house at HQ down on the South Coast. So Pressy Hole's involvement, where does Pressy Hole come in? Are you sitting comfortably? As you know, the S200 was discontinued, must be coming up, and I lose track of time, but must be coming up for 5 or 6 years ago now. And when we knew that they were going to discontinue it, we proactively sought to come up with a replacement for it. And we designed, developed, and produced that particular rifle. It didn't have a name at the time. It was always referred to as the S200 replacement. And that was designed and developed in-house, as we do with everything that we put to market. And then we kind of priced it up and we thought, do you know what? We can't, as a British manufacturer, produce this rifle at the price point that it needs to be. So we went on a search for what solutions were available to us in terms of the production of this particular rifle. And I was absolutely clear to the team that I knew what I didn't want and I knew what I did want. And what I did want wasn't easy to find. So hence the reason that this project has taken as long as it's taken. Now, I could have taken the easy route and I could have just outsourced the component parts across Europe and across China and just bring all these parts in, assemble it and chuck it out to the market. But anybody that knows Air Arms knows that that's not our style. That's not what we do. And so it really wasn't an option. So to find a partner that would produce it from start to finish to our standard was quite a difficult task to endure. We knew of Pressy Hole, and we met with Pressy Hole several years back in Bill's day, actually, Terry, if you remember. Pressy Hole's been around for a long, long time. But as probably the majority of people don't know, that they've been producing air guns since 2012, but only selling into India. So when we kind of got chatted with the Dr. Sherzat, who is the founder of Pressy Hole Sports, we were having the conversation with him, not expecting the response that we got because we knew that they already produced their own range of products. And it came about where he said, well, I would like to produce it for you. And the partnership basically started then. We didn't know at the time, we didn't know the background of Pressy Hole with too much detail. But over the oncoming years, we discovered that actually they were the perfect partner for us because they are the number one airgun manufacturer in India. And what led me to believe that they were the right partner for us was because they shared the same passion for the products as we do. They are a family business, and every single person in their business loves what they do. They are passionate about what they do, and they want to be the best of the best at what they do. And so that kind of resonated with me, as you can imagine. You know, Air Arms is always about the family, always about the ethos and the core values. And Pressy Hole demonstrated exactly that. So from that point on, there really was no other option for us. Pressy Hole were the perfect partner. And so that's how the relationship developed.
Brilliant.
Excellent stuff.
Brilliant.
Well, I'm just going to jump in and give a shameless plug to the magazine. While we're talking about Pressy Hole and the Minotaur, you grab yourself a copy of the June issue. There is Terry's first look at the Minotaur. Now, that was the rifle that pretty much everyone I spoke to at the British Shooting Show when we were there, because you had the whole range there, didn't you? It was like we all walked in, turned around the corner, it's like, wow, Air Arms has got a dozen rifles launched at the show. What's going on? But that one in particular, I guess it's because most of us hunt. That little bullpup, it only weighs just over 6 pounds. It's as light as a feather, and it looks really nice. And obviously, Terry's reviewed it now, like a brief review, and it works really well as well. I think you're going to sell absolutely loads of that particular model. It's just the perfect little hunting tool for wandering around the woods, sitting in a barn. Fantastic bit of kit. I can't wait to get my hands on one myself, to be honest with you, because I'm doing a lot of rat shooting at the moment.
I took it to Bisley, and I had some of the old boys there. We've got the Silver Surfers in the mornings, and they've got any amount of kit. I mean, serious $2,000, $3,000, and this little 500 quid rifle. They were queuing up for it, and two of them matched my groups with it. And you know, I'm not who I was and all that, but I can still shoot. They did like 12 mil groups at 25 and 30 yards with that rifle straight off. No testing of pellets, no messing around like that. And the greatest takeaway from it all was they kept saying, how much? How much? And to get in at that level is the epitome. It actually epitomizes the whole Pressy Hole deal. To get in for 500 quid, remember, you get in the Air Arms family for that. That's your entry ticket to all the after sales care, all the rest of it, and all the other stuff that I know they've got coming that won't just about be announced on this thing. But you get, that's your passport in, and you get a fantastic gun. And it is a brilliant little thing. How they've done it for the money, I do not know. And it wasn't only me that shot it. You got those cynical old gits at Bisley alongside me who will find fault in anything. Absolutely loved it. And it's a special little thing. And I'm glad you're here, Claire, to clear up you're not being bought out by the Indian company and all that.
Just to clarify that point a little bit further. So we've embarked on 3 enormous projects, and they've, as I said before, they've all kind of come at the same time. And one of the reasons that we've got involved with the Pressy Hole range of products, and let's be clear, the Pressy Hole product range is a range that's already produced and sold by Pressy Hole. And we are acting as their global distributor for that product. So we are buying that product in and we're selling it. Now, with the X200, that's slightly different. So with the X200 that we are hoping to launch in September, that is a product that has been designed and developed by Air Arms that is being produced on our behalf by India. So it's no different to CZ producing that little S200 of ours all those years ago. You know, that was actually a partnership project where we took their CO2 version and converted, and we developed that into a PCP model, right? So, I mean, that's history. Everybody knows that. So I find it interesting that was never an issue. But the fact that we are having a rifle produced in India is. And yet other companies have products produced in China, in Turkey, and all the other countries that we can think of. And that's not a problem. But all of a sudden, because we are bringing in a range of products from India, these rumours are just gone crazy. This industry never ceases to amaze me. I find it all quite amusing.
I will say that some of it, a percentage of it, is actually a compliment to you, believe it or not, in that many Air Arms customers are so precious about their brand and their rifles that they would fear any sort of interlopers or anybody coming in and maybe diluting the brand a bit. I think that's what they were worried about. But now Air Arms is going to be Air Arms. In fact, it's going the other way. You are influencing that product coming in from Pressy Hole. So, you know, you're not being diluted. You're actually spreading some of the love to India. So it is a bit of a compliment in some ways that they take it personally, because you've developed the family thing from your own family and through the family ethos of the customers and everything. And with family, people take it personally, and in some ways it is a compliment.
Yeah, and I can absolutely see that, and I can see that with the logo change as well. I find that, I think at the moment the logo change is a bit Marmite for you either love it or you hate it. But I get why people don't like it, and you're absolutely right, Terry. I think they are so invested in the Air Arms brand and therefore the logo that they fear change. And you don't have to like it, but there are reasons why that we had to bring in this logo change or this brand change now, because Air Arms is taking on a brand new direction. As I said earlier, we're taking on the UK distribution. We haven't done that for over 30 years. And there's a reason that we're doing it, because the time is right for us to do it. We're ready to do it, because what we want to do is we want to make air guns more accessible, and we want to put our arms around our community and bring more people in. That's what we do. We are so customer centric at Air Arms. Our customer is absolutely at the forefront of every thought and decision that we make. And we have a phenomenal community of shooters, of friends, of acquaintances, of business partners. And that doesn't happen by accident. And people are not stupid. And it doesn't take a minute for people to realise that they're either being fooled or misled. That's not what we are at Air Arms. I am Air Arms, and I have been fortunate enough to be part of Air Arms for 40 years. I celebrate my 40th year next week, actually.
Wow. Congratulations.
And so there can't be anyone more invested in family values than me. And I just find...
I'll make last point about the logo. I was there when you launched the last one at your dad's house. Loads of people didn't like that. I promise you, they didn't like that at all. What on earth is that? Looks like a roadside breakdown. What would you... Do we get insurance as well? Honestly, there was a storm about that.
You're so
and now
right.
They're defending it.
Exactly. You're so right. And I was going to go on to say that, because if you remember, Terry, back in the day, the original Air Arms logo, because let's forget, originally we sold under the NSP title. And then I think there were another couple of names thrown about. And then if you remember rightly, we put out a competition through the magazines, didn't we, to come up with the logo. And that was to replace the original circle logo with the Union Jack and the air and the... and people went crazy. And so it is endearing. It is endearing in a way, because, as I said before, they are invested in the brand, and that means an awful lot to me personally and the team. I think people do buy into brands, and there is brand loyalty, and we see it in fact, we don't read the forums, but our community do. And they never cease to amaze me, their loyalty on how they will support us and defend us. And it's just amazing. We just have a phenomenal relationship with our wonderful, wonderful community. So, yeah, I was going to go on and make that point. We've changed the logo. This is the third time we've changed the logo, and it's almost like deja vu.
Well, let's talk about the Air Arms family, shall we? I mean, the thing with Air Arms is that you cover every single base out there as far as shooting goes. I mean, you've got a great bunch of guys and girls that shoot field target competitively. You've got a great bunch of girls and guys that shoot hunter field target. You've got your everyday hunters, you've got your range shooters. And that's what I was just going to say, target sprint. Now, this is something that not many companies get involved in, and I know for a fact that because you are who you are, you just love putting stuff back into the sport. Now, for those that don't know what target sprint is, I am right in saying it's mainly aimed at youngsters, isn't it?
No,
it's not. No, but that's where the big sponsorship comes in from you guys, isn't it?
You'll find that mainly youngsters participate, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah. Do you want to explain to people what target sprint is and why it's mostly youngsters that participate?
Well, because target sprint is a take on the biathlon, the biathlon discipline, and it's running and shooting basically. But unlike the biathlon discipline, the gun is remains stationary. So the competitor starts with a 400-meter run. Then they come across the targets, the target system, and they have to knock down 5 targets. Then they run another 400 meters, come into the shooting range, knock down 5 targets, and then finish on another 400-meter run. And it's all about timing. So whereas you might argue I'm not the greatest of shooters, but you might be a fantastic runner, or vice versa, that's what makes the sport so exciting, because there's this cat and mouse kind of feel to it, and it's just a phenomenal shooting sport to watch as well, because you're right in it, as opposed to biathlon where they're running with their rifles on their back, or field target or hunter field target, where it's difficult for the audience to participate. But the great thing about target sprint, it's all about audience participation, and it's just phenomenal. I think your 3 guys did a kind of a version of it, which was a fantastic video, and loved the guys. And it was brilliant to watch. And I think there's something in that, actually.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you make obviously dedicated target sprint rifles, and you've got some pretty funky stocks on some of them, haven't you? Like comic book stocks, and some wild colours. They look fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, the youngsters love the bling, don't they? Well, I think all target shooters love the bling, and they like to make their rifles unique. So it's just giving options, really, and choice to the shooter to make their rifles individual to them.
Right, okay, I'm going to take another quick break for a shameless plug as well. Some big news, everybody, is that we have now got a new domain name for our website. We've changed the name of the website domain. It is now www.airgun-world.com. So www.airgun-world.com. If you go onto there, you will find a shop tab where you can get all our subscription details. There's loads of deals on there for you. If you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll find our newsletter sign up. If you sign up to the newsletter, there's loads and loads and loads of fresh new content that's going to get emailed to you every week. We do a weekly newsletter now. So make sure you head over there, check out the website. There's loads of Air Arms rifle reviews on there. Tests and hunting features and all sorts. So yeah, go and check out our website, please. And if you do want to subscribe, there will be a link in the description down below, and I think you get 15% off a subscription if you sign up through that link. Okie dokie. Terry, over to you again. I know you've got more questions.
Right. While we've got her here, I'm going to put her right on the spot now. She'll hate me for this, but she'll forgive me because I'm old. I hear rumours about new guns. Air Arms new guns. Is there anything at all you can tell us about what might be? Look at the head shaking. Look, the head's shaking. That's got the look on it as well. Look at the That's the end of that. No.
Have we not delivered enough this year?
Asking for the public. When are Air Arms going to bring out you name it? When are they going to bring one out? You could have 1,000 guns out there. Somebody would want a different one. I can tell you.
We're always developing. We never stop. And I think with what we've gone through and all the time and all the effort that has gone into getting us where we are now, and I'm just going to rewind a little bit to, again, just to reaffirm to your audience about the Pressy Hole takeover. What we did embark. So just to satisfy the curious, I can say, and I can tell you, and I'm happy to tell you, that as from April this year, we have recruited 9 new people at Air Arms, 2 of which are fully skilled CNC machine setter and operators. So that disproves the point that if we're going to have all our component parts made in India, why would we be employing more machinists? So that's that. So again, absolutely got no intention of sending any of the Air Arms component parts anywhere to be produced, whether it's India or Kazakhstan. They're staying in East Sussex. We are staying and we will producing those parts ourselves. We are a manufacturing company and I've got no intention of changing that anytime soon. So we've got 2 new fully skilled CNC machine operators. We've also employed another person in our finishing department. So that's polishing, finishing, all of that malarkey. And that is because we need, we're growing. We need these additional people to keep up with the demand and to satisfy our direct distribution to the UK trade. On top of that, I'm so excited to tell you that we have four of our junior team. We are putting on a leadership and management apprenticeship scheme for 5 years. We are building the next generation of leaders from within. And I think the reason that we're doing that is because they have the knowledge, they have the passion, they want to succeed, and they want to push forwards. And one of those juniors is my son. So I'm so pleased to tell you that my son is starting a 5-year leadership and management program because I need him to be there for the next generation, the legacy, so that we can continue the ethos of the Air Arms family brand.
No, that's great stuff. Well, let's talk about Pressy Hole again, because I mean that is the hot topic, isn't it? There's a number of rifles in the range and a pistol as well. Is the price point all going to be sub 500 quid or there or thereabouts for the range?
There or thereabouts. And the reason it's probably a little bit higher is because we want to ensure that we can offer, whether you're spending 100 quid on a break barrel pistol or whether you're spending 3.5 grand on a top of the range field target rifle, it is absolutely paramount to me that you get the same level of service. So with that Pressy Hole range, it's probably slightly more expensive than the cheaper end of the market. But with that, you are going to get guaranteed support. You are going to get the Air Arms ethos, the supports, the backup, the warranty, because it's important to me personally that every person that engages with Air Arms has a happy experience. Now, there'll be people out there saying, "Whoa, I didn't have a happy experience." I think the point being is, do we always get it right? No, we're human at the end of the day. But my request is allow us to put it right because we want to put it right. We don't purposefully do things badly because that's who we are. These things happen. Products, they are a mechanical product. They're going to go wrong. But allow us to put it right. Speak to us. Pick up the phone. We talk to everybody. There is no restrictions on who you can talk to when you phone up Air Arms. You will speak to a customer service representative that wants to help. So, and we want to ensure that anybody buying a product from Air Arms gets that backup, gets that no compromise support and after customer service.
When you showed me through the range at the British Shooting Show, I think we sort of discussed that, this is a welcome to the family, isn't it? Not everyone can afford 1,500 quid for a rifle. This is a welcome to the Air Arms family. Get yourself involved in air gunning, buy a Pressy Hole, get all this service, get the aftercare. And then it's, like I think I said to you, it's a gateway rifle. It's like a gateway drug. You get yourself into the family and then you aspire, save your money, buy yourself an Air Arms when you can afford it. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I really do. And I can't wait to get my hands on some of them to test. We need one.
Well, ask Reese, little Reese. He thoroughly enjoyed it, I believe.
Oh yeah, my mate's boy I'm teaching at the moment. He's loving it. Yeah. He's absolutely loving it. Kids do. I mean, a 78-year-old kid at my club got a job to get it off him. My old mate Alan. It's good. It's a universe that Minotaur. It reminds me so much of when I first saw the S200 when Bill brought it down to Bisley, and he said to me, I swear this is true. I shot it. I looked at him a bit suspicious. I said, what's it going to go out for? And he told me. He said, I've taken a bit of a chance. He said, I've ordered 500 of them. I said, that's going to last about 2 months, that will. I said, treble that order, Bill. At least treble it, or you'll sell out. And I think he did. And they did sell out. They did immediately. And it just flew off the shelves. And then, of course, people discovered how brilliant the S200 barrel was. And there were S200 barrels appearing on at the time, £1,000, £1,500 field target rifles, including one shot by Sir Nick Jenkinson himself, was shooting a 200 barrel.
And I think one of the questions that we asked is, what barrel is on the Pressy Hole range of products? And we go, a Pressy Hole barrel. But here's the thing. Pressy Hole have been making barrels for the defence industry for over 30 years. So I think they know what they're doing.
Yeah, well, that Minotaur does. Whatever barrel's on that, I assume it's the same process.
Well, they were actually making barrels before they started making air guns.
All right. No, it's an impressive little thing. I mean, Dave and I will see it for ourselves when you fly us out there, obviously. When we take one for the team.
Going on a road trip, Terry.
I'm sure Ali G will take you out next time.
That'd
He's been
be
out there twice already.
Extra legroom, please, for us. We're extra legroom guys.
Yeah.
No, it was great. I'm so excited for it. You're going to get more people in. And as you know, my overall interest is getting more and more people successfully into airgun shooting. And the way to get them in is to get them in at a price point they can afford and to get them hitting stuff and experiencing the buzz of marksmanship. So it's good for the sport. What you're doing is overall, it's good for the sport. More people are going to come in, more people are going to enjoy the success, and they've got more chance of staying with it and defending it and expanding it. So, no, it's overall a good thing. I'm sure even you won't reassure everyone, because some of them don't want to be reassured. They'd rather believe something's a bit dodgy, but you can't cure that. But I've seen the products. I know what you're telling me is absolutely 100% from your heart, and I'm totally behind it. I think it's an absolutely brilliant move. It really is.
Well, thank you, Terry. I appreciate that very much. And look, haters are going to hate, aren't they? What interests me and what amuses me is that those that know. Those that don't know everything.
The keyboard warriors. Yeah. There's plenty of them.
They know more about my business than me.
I've got a monstrously big question now after those little ones you've answered, So, you've got so many balls in the air now. Okay, you've got all these things going on. Where are you going to be in 5 years for it to be where you want it to be? So where are you going to be? What's going to be Air Arms in 5 years?
Well, I like to think, and this is the whole reason for doing what we're doing and taking on the direct distribution. And that's, again, I'd like to take this opportunity to really show my thanks and gratitude to both Hawk and Rothery's for their outstanding service. They have been that central point between us and the trade, and they've done a phenomenal job for us. But as we all know, and as we can all see, the landscape of our industry is changing. And if you want to stay on top of it, and you want to stay on top of the new and the advancements in technology and everything that goes with it, then you've got to make some bold moves. And I have to say, I've made some really bold moves, but I haven't made those decisions lightly. And like I said before, the time is now, because what we want to do and where we're going to be in 5 years' time is offering to the general public, to our shooting community, more products, more solutions to the challenges that they face and endure and want to improve, because our community of shooters constantly want to better themselves. They're constantly pushing the boundaries to improve their own scores or be better at this, that. And we have to ensure that we provide the right products for them to do that successfully. Now, I think now having that direct contact with the trade absolutely enables us to bring in more products at competitive prices to be able to, satisfy the Air Arms community.
Brilliant.
Excellent stuff. Right. So talking about new products and bits and bobs, Terry and I started a thing a few shows ago with things what I have bought off the internet. Now, obviously, I get sent rifles to review, I get sent scopes to review, I get sent pellets. But other things like tripods, bipods, all that sort of stuff, I don't get sent, so I have to buy them all myself. So, more recently, I've got my old slick camera tripod here. It's a pretty heavy-duty one. But I bought myself one of these off of eBay. It's from a guy called Shooting Saddles. Again, it was my mate Simon Walker, who I shoot with, who put me onto it. It's basically 3D printed, but it's really good quality and absolutely solid. You just put your rifle in there, do it up, stick it on the tripod. As it happens, I bought it specifically for use with my S510 because I'm shooting a lot of rats and rabbits at the moment from a seated position. And that sits in there, absolutely lovely. You can do it up tight and just leave it on the tripod. 32 quid that was for that. Which I think if anyone out there who does a lot of shooting off sticks, it's well worth grabbing one of those. And I'm going out tomorrow night to put it to the test and shoot myself some more rats. So I thought I'd drop that in there. Are Air Arms going to do anything like that? Are they going to bring in bits and bobs? Or are you just going to stick to your rifles and pellets and stuff?
You'll just have to wait and see.
I'm hoping yes. Okay. Right, I have actually got some readers' questions for you. One of them's really spooked me out a bit, to be fair. An old mate of mine, Barney Wright, that I used to work with a long time ago, 20 years ago, near enough. He just messaged me out the blue this afternoon on Facebook and asked me a question. Didn't know that I was going to be recording this with you this afternoon, but he said he bought an S410 directly from you at the Tap and Guns trade show back in about 2006, I think. I think it was Bill Sanders that sold it to him. But he wants to know, it's 20 years old, he wants to give it some TLC. Where can he send it to get serviced, replace the seals, all that sort of thing? Do Air Arms do direct servicing for their customers?
Well, first off, hi Barney. Have you never had your rifle serviced in 20 years?
Nothing, Barney, no.
Yes, absolutely, we do direct servicing. Just give us a call, and there'll be the lovely Rachel or Sheila will be happy to talk to you about servicing it for you.
Excellent stuff. I've got another question. This one actually came in from a reader, a guy called Alan Andrews. He's got, hi chaps, I've got an S510 Ultimate Sporter, which I use mostly for shooting rabbits at my wife's stables. Do Air Arms make a wooden cheek riser for the rifle? Because the soft touch rubber one I have tends to get a bit sticky in the summer, what with me sweating all over it. I feel his pain laying down there in a field when it's 30 degrees, covered up in the camo gear, even though it's netted and mesh, it's horrible, but you have to do it to get the rabbits. So do you make a wooden cheek riser instead of the soft touch?
I believe we do a laminate one for the laminate version, but with the others, no, because, and there's a reason for that, and that is because the cheek piece is not cut from the same blank, and so therefore it's very, very difficult to match. And so we decided we decided after a little while that it wasn't acceptable, and therefore we were going to have just the black cheek piece. I think the laminate version has the laminate cheek piece.
Yeah. Well, another tip for you, Alan, if you're watching this, Yeah, I have the same problem, obviously, because I've got an S510 myself. It does get a bit sweaty sometimes, but I just stick a bit of that camo tape over the top of it, and that seems to do the trick for me, anyway.
But what you could do is you could buy yourself a tactical platform, and then all that stickiness goes away.
Yeah.
It doesn't go away. You get sticky in other places. It's that good. Trust me.
Okay. Have you got any more questions, Terry?
I've only got one. It's what happened to the very high power brake barrel you used to do and no longer do? Are there any about to be bought? Callis is a friend of mine who's a collector, and I've just forgotten, what was it, the Pro Elite? Was it the Pro Elite?
Pro Elite, yes.
Yeah. Are there any about? Do you keep any 3 or 4 locked away in a cupboard anywhere?
No, we have one. We have one for our archives, of course, but apart from that, no, we don't deal in secondhand, shop soiled, whatever products. That's not what we do. But I'm sure somewhere like Gunstar, if there's one about, would be on there, wouldn't there? Or maybe the retailers that deal in secondhand rifles might have one, but not us. Sorry.
That's okay. You can't be everything to everyone.
Okay, well, I think, we've been rabbiting on for 45 minutes looking at this. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Claire? Anything else you want to add to what we've been discussing?
Well, as always, I, again, just want to thank our amazing community of shooters and the response that we've had from the trade with regards to our announcement last week has been phenomenal. I'm quite a grounded person, and I don't take things for granted. And I do thoroughly think things out and prove things out before we take action. And that goes from everything from a big decision like taking on direct distribution to the production of a component part. And so we never take for granted that people are going to buy into what we sell. But I have to say the response from the trade has been truly overwhelming. And I think that is testament to them and their trust in us and our products and who we are and what we do. So enormous thanks to the trade, but more importantly, huge thanks to our amazing community of shooters.
Fantastic. I think a lot of it's to do with the fact that Air Arms has got such a good name out there in the community. Just well done, and just keep doing what you're doing. We all love you. And about that trip to India, we'll talk later. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you ever so much, Claire, for joining us, and thank you again, Terry, for coming up with a load of really good questions. Thanks everyone for watching. I think Matt and Rich will be back in 2 weeks' time. We'll be back in a month. Once again, massive thanks to Crackshot, the sponsors of the show. Go and check them out at www.crackshot.uk. And check out our new website, airgun-world.com. We'll be back and see you in a month's time.